Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Funhaus, brought to you by Elyse Mattress this week. Got some fun discount info on that. Stay tuned. But for now, I'm joined by some pals of mine. Who's behind me? I can't see.
You know who's behind you. Don't lie.
James?
It's the Winter Soldier.
I don't want to be Iron Man. I'll be Doctor Strange. Dr. Bruce Strange.
Dr. Bruce Strange.
And me, Doctor Strange's friend. Can't remember his name.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Heavy-set fat guy.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Oh, no.
I thought
No,
Moto.
my friend's
Asian
Mordo.
guy. Magamoto or whatever his name is.
I'm Adam. Hi. Thanks for coming, guys. That's what I do, Elyse. We're talking about a bunch of things today. I originally wanted this to be a Christmas theme episode, which we will still be talking about later, since it is December-ish now.
Yeah.
We get into the holiday
feels
theme.
like a gift, Adam.
Lo and behold, the Infinity War trailer came down. I figured we'd want to talk about that, and you find folks out there want to hear about it, since we always talk about superheroes and all the fun stuff. So I don't know, let's take it away. Marvel released this fun little trailer. At the time of filming, this thing already had 14 million views,
Jeez.
over a million of those thumbs up things on YouTube. I don't know if that actually does anything.
It's only been up for like 6 hours.
It's a little crazy, right? So hey, I wanted to talk about this only because we recently talked about Justice League. I still haven't seen it. I will see it, I promise, at some point. I'm in less of a hurry now that this trailer's out, and I feel like I'm getting a better experience.
Oh, DC's better. You're brainwashed by Disney. You got a media bias. Boo!
Either way, I could not help but make comparisons. And I feel like we had talked about this a little bit, but I feel like they earned it in this trailer. Every time they show a character, I actually got excited.
There's been 17 movies leading up to this.
How
Are
do
you
you
serious?
guys feel
Yep.
about Thanos not having a hat?
Thanos will get his hat.
But how do you feel about them showing him as a bald guy with a big chin?
I felt like he earned it. We saw Thanos in a couple teasers where he had the crown or whatever
hat.
he was wearing, his hat,
Call it a
and
hat.
he earned the right not to have the hat in this trailer.
Everyone's okay with how it looks?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Who cares?
When they first showed the promotional art, I thought it looked dumb, and it's this weird. I do that weird mental back and forth every time Marvel releases something. I'm like, it's just a big roller coaster. It's just mostly CGI now. But God, I still get excited.
Of course you get excited because you get to see all the cool characters that you like from all the movies get to do the things they're supposed to do. And that's the thing about Justice League. When I was watching Justice League, I thought a lot about this. I was watching going like, I know what Batman does. I know what Superman does. I know what Cyborg does, kind of. I know what all these characters do. And I couldn't wait for them to do them. And so when they finally did them, I was so underwhelmed. I was just like... I was like, fuck, like Batman, he got punched and like fell over, and then Cyborg barely did, and then hacked into the thing and crawled up the sewer, and Aquaman looked terrible CG and stopped the water. I was just like, this looks so stupid. And I also thought, Marvel special effects, not that much better. Not that much better. But since I like the characters, I'm more than willing to accept that the special effects still look pretty CG.
Well, I would say it has to do a lot with the choreography.
That too, yeah.
Because you can have mediocre special effects, but if you have a CG rubber bandy Captain America flying in with his shield and doing something as Iron Man swoops between his legs,
That's true. That's a good point.
And it like doesn't work, but it does work because you're like, oh my gosh, everything's working together as like a big puzzle. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Like it could look like that. We just saw Spider-Man in his Iron Spider suit,
Sure.
and he looks like exactly the same as how he's going to look in the new PlayStation game.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it's a very cinematic shot and it looks very thought out, and there'll probably be some point where something will sweep by. Black Panther will do a flip in the background or something.
You said
that's cool.
You said choreography. Did you mean cinematography?
No, choreography.
Oh, okay.
Like
because
what
the
the
way
action
they-
does.
The way
They
yeah.
set it up.
okay.
Characters are
Justice-
fighting in tandem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Justice League is just a shot of Aquaman stabbing something in the sky, and then it cuts to another shot of Batman trying to drive a Batmobile, and then it cuts to another shot of Wonder Woman doing something else. There's no synergy.
It's very reductionist to say it, but it's fun to see the tag team moves.
Yeah.
And like Bruce was saying, Justice League didn't really surprise you in any way.
No.
There
at
was
all.
that one moment where Flash kind of tips Wonder Woman's
That was
sword
fun.
back to her, and that was the kind of thing that you were hoping to see.
Yes.
That would surprise you. That would kind of revolutionize what these characters are in their work relationships and how they work in tandem together. And Civil War did that.
Oh, all the time.
Like
over and over and over,
constantly.
yeah.
And I think this is going to be that to the nth degree.
Yep. I mean,
There's a difference between thought put in before and thought put in after.
Well, and everybody always says in the comments, but Marvel's had since 2007 or 6 when they first started developing all these movies to think about all this stuff and build. And DC only started 3-4 years ago, I want to say on that. So they've, Marvel's had 12 years to do it, and DC only had about 4.
Yeah.
And so it definitely shows.
It's
100%.
just when they have a small moment. So when you see Peter Parker and his hair rise on his arm, you go, spider sense.
Yeah.
I feel like if DC or someone else tries to do that, it would be kid on the bus, be like, oh, did you know that so-and-so? The film-going audience, I think this is where it gets interesting, where it transcends beyond just being a superhero franchise and being a film franchise. Regular moviegoers now go, oh, it's that spider sense thing I know about.
Yep.
And they go, well, how did I know that? I don't know. That's just, to me, feels like smart filmmaking.
Yep.
No.
I would agree.
I've always said that the trilogy format is so popular because you almost guarantee one film in the middle that's just going to be fucking
Great.
tits.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to explain anything, you don't have to resolve anything, you just go with whatever the concept is full blown. Marvel has created something new, something that I don't think has ever existed in the history of cinema, except maybe James Bond. But even then, I don't know, where you can a whole movie can be climax. A whole movie can be the tip of the iceberg.
Of the pyramid, really, because it's all the building blocks beneath.
Yeah.
And then the payoff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And so they have honestly, at this point, they have several movies that are just those. But this is something that is impossible otherwise.
Yeah.
You have to
Right.
build these blocks and everything. But like Adam said, then you go into it and you're like, we don't need to explain who that bald woman is.
Right.
She got her whole movie. You know?
Do you know her name?
Bald woman. George Ejiofor.
Michelle and the Degajagalcello.
Yeah.
That's Sean Mellencamp's friend.
The only thing, actually, James, that has ever come close to doing anything like this was TV.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I guess the argument does come down to, are these films just television now? Are we just paying $30 to go with a loved one to go watch a 2-hour TV episode?
It's a higher budget.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's the difference.
I guess, but I mean, does a budget make a TV show versus a movie? Like there are TV shows that have budgets that are bigger than some movies and vice versa.
Yeah,
But there's no difference now. I mean, really.
Like
There's no
Game of
difference.
Thrones is a movie.
There's
you're
a-
watching a movie.
There used to be a considerable divide where an actor worked in film but not in TV, and an actor worked in TV and not in film. Now actors are pursuing TV work because it's more consistent and they get paid more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess it comes to whether these are standalone or serialized to an extent. Do you need the framework of those other movies to enjoy this? I don't know because I've seen them all.
Oh, you do. I think you do. I don't think you can just jump into
'Cause
Infinity
there's a
War.
level of emotional payoff and
Yeah.
resonance that you don't have otherwise if
Right.
you haven't lived all those other experiences.
Is that onto itself a little? I'm not saying maybe cheating's not the right word, but isn't it sort of like an emotional cheat?
Well, but they
It's earned.
Yeah, they put the time
Yeah,
in, they put
yeah.
the money in, and they also got everybody to see their films, and they're positively reviewed, and they got a lot of positive
Yeah.
buzz. So they've been able to do that.
Yeah, I can just see somebody who goes, man, didn't care for those Captain America movies, or I didn't care for that Doctor Strange. But then I can't explain it. I bet there is some sort of psychological reason why when another character from another franchise shows up in a thing, something goes off in your brain synapse, and you go,
Well, he's not
here.
supposed to. Yeah, he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That's what it was when you watched crossover television episodes where you had like the critic on The Simpsons. Sorry, this is a really old reference.
No, yeah.
no, I mean,
but
that
I love
was
it. You're
that.
speaking my language.
I know.
This is like
I loved
Flintstones
that.
and Jetsons. I
Sure,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's and everybody loves it because you're like, wait, I'm watching the Flintstones, but I also know the Jetsons, and I get to see the Jetsons and the Flintstones. Like that's a big deal.
Well, you also have to manage that tone. You identify that the properties are all on the same wavelength, and then you put them
That's why people
together.
love fan fiction.
I mean,
Do they
it
love
works
it?
here.
Yes.
It works with Let's Play.
I was just about to say that.
Like if people like it when similarly toned groups merge together, but they don't like it when they don't. So you can't take the Flintstones and put them in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm trying to have the audience, the make believe audience watching this trailer in my mind, where you show it to a group of people, almost like a film. It is basically, this is what trailers have become, 2-minute films, and you're sitting them down and rewind 10 years ago and go, are you a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy? And they go, who?
Yeah.
And then this one, I guarantee those people are standing up in their chairs going, more Groot, more Groot. It's
they're the
madness.
They're the topping for this whole trailer.
That's the craziest part.
I know.
I don't think they're going to be in this one that much. That's my guess. Unless I'm not sure how much Marvel's holding back in this trailer. I think there's Ant-Man versus Wasp. There's Ant-Man and Wasp stuff that we're obviously not seeing, and maybe that's because they're setting things up in that movie. But I think that the first Infinity War is going to be a step up above Civil War, and that the second Infinity War, whatever it becomes being, is going to be the blowout.
The climax.
Where everybody's in it, and that's just... Marvel's going to be like, clear your schedules because
No, you're
this
right.
is, you all need to be in this, and you all need to be on set together.
For those who aren't following everything Disney does, whether they release a new hat or they release some sort of press release or whatever, they did announce years ago their entire plan, their entire slate. And they did originally announce this movie to be Infinity War Part 1, with Part 2 coming out the following year. This movie's coming out 2018. Next one's supposed to come out 2019. They have since gone back, the Russo brothers, and said, no, the second one is not Infinity War Part 2 anymore.
It's going to be something else.
We're going to call it something else. We're not announcing that. We were speculating here in the office that maybe it has something to do with some sort of rights that they're going to get, whether X-Men, Silver Surfer, something that they're going to be able to tie in, but they can't legally talk about right now. So they just have to be cryptic.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say real quick. Can we just talk about how amazing the Russo fucking brothers are?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I love it. I fucking love it.
From directing shots of that airplane chair in Arrested Development to making some of the best, most coherent action movies ever made.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Fantastic. And it's one of those things that every time I see their name on something, I'm always like, this is going to be really good. Yeah. It's going to be really good, and I'm going to get it.
I mean, also, I guess not to downplay what all the what people are doing technically in these films.
Oh, the visual effects, you mean?
I'd say ILM and Weta are the 10,000 different companies that are working to make this thing happen. Because it's like Ninja Turtles, where it's becoming more CGI than real life, or like Transformers. And when every shot has a visual effect in it, it kind of begs that question: are we just watching a cartoon right now?
Right.
Yeah, but there still has to be someone there to oversee those storyboards.
CG and Captain America's beard.
Justice League being 80% CG versus Civil War being 80% CG. There's clearly a vision, and then there's clearly not.
You got the characters too. The character that everybody loves. I was what you guys are describing with like I can't like it's sort of an emotional cheat. You're describing Star Wars. You're describing Harry Potter. You're describing franchises that have existed for years and years and years, and Marvel somehow made this franchise and made it into a worldwide phenomenon in 10 years. Whereas Star Wars, I think probably did it in a couple of movies over the span of about 9 years.
Right. But still, you're right. Like with episode 2, they're like, hi, my name's Jango Fett. Yeah. And he stares into the camera
and most people are like, oh, he's probably related to like that one character I saw from Empire. Like,
that guy who falls in a hole.
Well, more importantly though, those franchises weren't able to, with the exception of maybe Deathly Hallows Part 2, which still had to resolve the story. Those, like, even in Star Wars, they were like, here's Jango Fett. And then you have to kind of like take a minute to get the audience up to speed to who Jango Fett is and what he does. Like, it's because they didn't have a Jango Fett movie that then, there's Jango Fett.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
They still don't have movies like this where they're just like, all right, let's go. Yeah. Here we go.
No, you're right about that. There are very few things that almost everybody in the world can see and go like, oh, I know what Spider-Man does. Or I know what lightsabers are, I really applaud them. The more that I see these trailers and movies, the more I'm excited about them.
All those Wakandans are gonna die.
Yeah,
no, they're running into a fight.
Well, that's sort of my concern. Just looking at this trailer is, we're watching it countless times on a loop here, but what you're seeing is like a New York moment. You're seeing the Wakanda stuff, and then you're seeing Thor thing. So there's 3 storylines going on. Is this gonna make for a bad film? Like, is it just going to be Love Actually with comic book characters? Like, is it going to be a bunch of disconnected storylines, or do you think you can actually put all that into one movie?
I think that is probably the last remaining difference between TV and film. I don't think you're going to get an Arrested Development or a Game of Thrones type situation here where they know the actors' schedules, so they have to shoot around those schedules, so Daenerys never meets Jon Snow, blah, blah, blah.
That's a good point.
Right? I think they booked this shit. They booked these actors' times 15 years ago.
They said, here's $50 million. Show up to set. You know?
And so they got them all together for everything that they needed them together. And sure, I think there will be a Star Wars aspect of battles fought on multiple fronts to show off the scale, as opposed to everyone just hanging out in an airport in Civil War, But I still think that it's going to, I don't think it's going to be a cop-out at all.
No. I mean, and Adam, you kind of bring up a good point, which is I don't think for one second I was worried about the fact that this would be a bad movie, because I was like, if they can give me one of the other action sequences I got in Civil War, I'll be fine. I loved Civil War as a whole movie. Actually, the more I watched it, the more I liked it. But that one action sequence in the airport, I was like, man, this is so fucking cool. It ties in all the characters I know. They're doing all the things I want them to do, all against each other. So if that happens at all in this one, where Thanos fights Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, and 3 other people, and they're all doing their thing against Thanos, I'll love it. I'll be totally in.
I'm only worried because every time I watch a movie like this, obviously the trailer shows the best stuff. It's nonstop action. It keeps going. You have to remember, as a film goer, there are going to be moments of downtime. And that's every time I watch a Justice League trailer, so I'm like, there's going to be 20 minutes of Lois Lane walking around a farm.
Talking and
because they're like, we got to drag this out because getting Aquaman and the Flash in the same room costs a lot of money. And I'm wondering, are they finally at the point where they can just take a comic book beyond, something like Sin City and just make it into a movie? Is it going to be a panel 1-for-1 where you're like, anytime you read a comic book, you're like, you can't make this. It's impossible.
I think just by necessity, some characters will be more forefront, while others are just kind of tertiary pop up. I feel like Loki's just going to be in there. We're just going to see him.
He's going to betray again.
Are
we really going to do another Loki
heel turn?
He's a trickster god. That's what he's got to do.
That one scene where he's in the trailer, that might just be all we see for him.
Yeah,
I think that we'll see a lot of that, where it's just fan service. They're here, we're seeing them in this movie, but they're not really.
I'm wondering that if this is a film, this will be the first one that Marvel and the Russo brothers and everyone involved bit off more than they can chew. I
don't know.
They're like, we have too many characters now. We're trying to shove them all in. No one gets enough time, and now it just feels too disjointed. That's sort of my apprehension and my fear.
Well, this is supposed to be they're cycling into phase 4 or whatever, right?
Yes, 4 of 62.
So here's what's going to happen. You're going to get basically a farewell, I think, to most of the characters that you've had the most time with so far.
Vision.
So Captain America,
Iron Man's probably.
Captain America and Iron Man are probably going to not be in it as much as, say, Doctor Strange, who needs this movie to set him up for whatever his sequel will be.
Does Captain Marvel come out before this?
No. But only Captain Marvel doesn't matter anyway because it's the 90s.
Right.
It takes place in a different time period, supposedly.
Only Black Panther's the last film before this.
That was to say, and Black Panther, I think.
Not Wasp?
Ant-Man Wasp?
No.
I guess that's next year.
Yeah, that's after.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before Infinity War 2?
If they're thinking long term like they have been, that's where they're going to be setting this stuff up. They're going to be pushing it towards the characters that need the screen time because this is their sequel. So Spider-Man's probably going to be pretty prevalent in this. I think Doctor Strange to be pretty prevalent in this. I wouldn't be surprised to see Vision just die.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
But yeah, so I think, if your favorite character is Captain America, you're going to get a payoff, but you might not get some sort of real big, why aren't there real motivated Captain America moments? But
you probably will in Infinity War Part 2, but they're not going to call it that.
Whatever they call it.
But it may be as a farewell.
Oh, absolutely.
Thing,
I'm expecting both Captain America and Iron Man to die. I'm expecting both of them to die.
I don't think they're going to die.
Or they sail off into the what? I don't know.
They'll join paws like otters and just float
swim
away.
off.
Yeah. They go where Frodo and Sam are.
Right, yeah.
The Undying Land.
Quick question. I'm going to get up to an ad read here in a second, but real quick before we get there, why does Iron Man still have the thing in his chest? Or is that just his
powers
t-shirt?
The suit. He doesn't have it technically in his chest anymore.
Right. So I'm just saying, because I fucking hate Iron Man 3.
Yeah, because it's garbage.
That's terrible.
I didn't. That was like the one where I went, "What happened?"
it's a terrible
And
film.
they even at the very end, they're like, "We're gonna take the one thing out of you that makes you unique."
Turns out all he needed was surgery.
Yeah, and like I get it. The thing was, it was a visual representation, but I get spoiler. Sorry for the end of Iron Man 3. It's
Spoiler.
literally the last shot is Tony Stark sitting on a operation chair, and they're pulling out the arc reactor out of his chest. The one thing that like kept him alive in the last few movies, but was also killing him.
Hold up, riddle me this, because this has been bugging me for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, in Iron Man 1, in the movie, they're like, oh, you got shrapnel, and it'll work its way to your heart without this magnet to pull it away. But then in Iron Man 2, it comes out and it's just like, my life force is fading. And then in 3, what, did they take all the metal pieces out?
2, he was poisoned.
Yeah,
it was poisoning
because
him.
it was like radioactive.
The
or whatever.
shrapnel, I think, was poisoning him, but then S.H.I.E.L.D. just gives him a shot, which isn't this.
No, he shoots a laser at a rock, and that turns it into a magical rock takes the poison.
The arc
I
reactor.
believe that was separate. No, what?
No, the arc reactor. He needed to create a new arc reactor because what he came up with in that cave was what was killing him. So the
S.H.I.E.L.D. shot just gave him
a
a
shot,
boost.
which allowed him to focus, which allowed him to put his mental capacity together. And go, I'm going to come up with something that doesn't kill me,
Right.
which is why he bent the laser into another laser, which created a new power, which allowed him to continue in that movie pulling the shards out of his heart, though.
Right.
Why
That was the goal of that new thing.
Why are Hulk's
okay.
pants really big after he gets big? Because they stretch so much.
I'm just saying. There's a few shots of Tony Stark, and he's still got like the chest thing. I can't tell if that's a T-shirt or like they're like, oh
It's
yeah,
Affliction brand.
like why did we
actually.
get rid of the one thing that made him interesting and unique? I guess maybe Robert
'Cause
Downey
he's on
Jr. is
his way
tired
out.
of. I guess, yeah.
He's gonna die. We all know he's gonna die. It's probably gonna die in this
Maybe.
one.
But then
on set?
well, that movie too. I was just thinking, Iron Man 2 did something that bugged me the same way Spider-Man: Homecoming bothered me, where they set this thing up where, like in Iron Man 2, where S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever goes, "No, Tony, you're not good enough for the Avengers," and you and the eyes go, "No, we need Avengers." But then Aliens are ready to go, "Never mind, we need you," and it's just like, okay, so Spider-Man. The whole thing in Homecoming is like, I want to join the Avengers, and at the end he goes, you know what? I don't want to join the Avengers. And then this trailer, he's literally being Spider-Man doing Avenger shit. So I'm just like,
Well, it's because he has to, because Thanos is here.
I know, but we've done it twice now.
Of
Fool
course.
me once, shame on Tony. Fool me twice, shame on Peter.
He's gonna die, and then they're gonna go, you know what? Who we haven't seen in this movie? Hawkeye. Tony's dead.
Oh!
So we need you to come back, Hawkeye. We know your family's
Put
dead.
on the Spider-Man suit.
I was just saying, I want things to get real. I want Vision to be having an affair with Hawkeye's wife, while Hawkeye is
damn.
like doing, and he's like, oh no, and they both pull the bed sheets up.
Well, his family's gonna die, right?
Hawkeye's family? Definitely.
Maybe.
They've gotta. They're
He's
gonna
in jail,
their
apparently.
house is gonna explode or something.
Like one missile from the sky.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Thanos.
So there's been Guardians since Civil War. There's been Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and
T-Horror,
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Right?
that it?
Those are the three. That whole time period, because I watched Civil War recently. That whole time period, people are just in jail.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, are
Everyone,
they?
basically everyone that was with Captain America except for Winter Soldier is in jail.
Didn't they unlock everything? I
The
forget.
last shot is Captain America coming out of the dark wearing a hoodie.
yeah.
But that's it.
Doesn't he break them out then?
No, it doesn't show any breakout.
Well, we assume there's a breakout.
Maybe there could have been.
I
but-
don't know.
I think Vision has to die, right?
Vision's gonna die
Because
for
he's
sure.
in that relationship
he's
now with
barely
Scarlet
alive.
Witch. You got the gem.
He's got the gem. Thanos is gonna rip it out
Well, I
of
was
his
gonna
forehead.
say the only thing is you only see him with those two. He doesn't have. He has a purple and
doesn't
a
have a
blue.
yellow.
He doesn't have a yellow.
Well, he's gonna punch Vision in the head and rip that out,
So
and
that
then
means he gets the Guardians gem,
yeah.
and then he gets the Tesseract.
Well, the
gem.
Guardian's gem is purple.
Yeah. So he has purple and blue.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So he doesn't have. He doesn't have
Yellow,
time,
Vision, green.
power.
Green is time.
what's the red one?
Oh yeah, what is it?
I thought that was power.
Is it power?
I thought the power gem was purple, but I could be wrong.
Isn't there like space?
Purple's reality. Oh, purple's. Blue is space. Purple's reality.
I just know that yellow is Vision and green is time.
He
I
thinks
know
they're
that.
like
Yes.
birthstones.
Anyway.
July.
Also, and then I keep
Sorry, do
forgetting.
your ad read.
No. Oh no, I'll. Well, it'll be pre-taped. Don't worry about it. But the other thing too, worth noting. I don't. James, have you read the Infinity War comic?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
It's worth taking a look at because they do some. That one even has like X-Men and like all the other characters, like Adam Warlock and everyone shows up. I know they're going to be in this, or Adam Warlock will probably be in this one in some shape or form. He's like, big, and now you're talking about like the
credits for Guardians 2.
Yeah, it's like you're starting to get like bigger, more like powerful characters. You're starting to get like Galactus level,
Cosmic.
weird, the cosmic characters. But they do a thing in the comic that annoyed me, and I'm afraid they're going to do it in this one, where because there is a time gem and there's a space gem, there's a point where they just go, just kidding, because they kill everyone. Like Drax and Hulk get like killed with one punch, and because at some point Thanos can just do whatever he wants,
right?
Because he controls the universe. But then it's something like his like kind of special sister like steals the gauntlet from him and goes, "I'm fixing it," and then they just undo everything and it's fine.
Well, that might happen. That's what everybody thinks.
You're
Like
worried
X-Men.
about a comic book level retcon of events.
The thing is, comic books kind of get made fun of for always doing that. Like the Phoenix storyline.
X-Men movies just did it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Well, they at least kind of bounced back a little bit, like with the Days of Future Past stuff. I thought was better than.
But that was a straight up retcon.
That was a
It was
retcon.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
straight up cinematic
I thought-
movie retcon.
Yeah, but I thought it was at least done well
Oh,
with
it was.
the way they did time travel. It was a unique take
Oh, yeah.
on time travel. I thought was nice. Whereas like we have a gauntlet, and you just go fix, and like, well, that's
Yeah.
that's
Maybe
kind of
it'll
lame.
be integrated
Kinda
like X-Men.
Harry Potter
Maybe.
time turner.
That is the thing,
Well, yeah, they're just like, yeah, it's fixed now.
It's fixed.
Yeah.
We fixed it.
and it's no longer in any other books or movies.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm sure there's a reason.
I
Someone
mean,
will
they
tell me.
used the time gem in Doctor Strange.
Oh,
They
that's
did.
true.
Oh, that's right. It's his little.
Yeah.
It's
The Eye of Agamotto.
It's how he beat what's his name, Dormammu.
You're
That's
a
what
nerd.
his name is.
You're a nerd now, Bruce.
I know.
Yes.
I know. I don't read those comics to save my life.
Remember
I
When
watch
he beat
it.
that cosmic
Your
entity
precious
with a
Dormammu.
brain puzzle.
He did.
Well,
They beat him with Infinity.
If you could defeat my tongue twister, I'll set you free, Dormammu. Damn you, Strange!
Remember when he was like, "You lack imagination"? When it came to killing people, he found a way to do it without killing people.
Yeah, I know.
He just had to use his brain.
Yep.
You know what I'm excited for? Like Mantis meets like Black Panther or something. And it seems like she's interested in him, and then Drax gets jealous.
She's a mud shark. What? That's what it's called.
I don't know
think
what you
it's
said,
actually-
but I'm.
I think it's actually called two people being attracted.
No,
to each
that's
other.
not what I
Hold
heard.
on, hold
That's
on.
what it's called.
Mantis is not a person.
Mantis is.
How
he's
dare
a CW
you.
Show.
Wait, she's not a person?
He was in a wheelchair and then he got a super.
Not that Mantis, the
Everyone-
Guardians
But I'm
Mantis.
just saying, like
Wait, which Mantis are we talking
I-
about?
He's talking about the CW show.
I just
let me
think
bring up Mantis.
that'll be cute. Like, Drax gets jealous because it'll be cute. Stop looking at Mantis show.
Here, season 1, episode 0.
Episode 0.
Oh, she's in this?
He's in it too.
Yeah, they're all in it. Everybody's in it.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry for those for audio listeners.
Whoa!
Mantis was a short-lived
Short.
television.
Oh, I remember this. I actually did see this.
Well, see, this character is flawed. He's in a wheelchair, and then he gets the suit and it makes him more
that's
powerful.
Iron Man. That's what Iron Man
Oh.
originally was.
Wait, that's just a shitty car with some wings on it.
How dare you? It's the Mantis Mobile.
And there it is.
I remember this show. Man, it was cool.
Do you think he got all put up in the costume and everything, and the wardrobe sent him out, and they were like, "All right, you're all done," and he looked at himself in the mirror. He goes, "This is the end of what you're doing to make me look like a hero."
Is this the end of Mantis costuming?
Anyway, yes, the show is canceled.
Anyway, there was Mantis. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick ad break. Thank you guys for listening to our Infinity War spiel. We're going to come back with some holiday tips, and then, of course, BudWatch 2017, as we do here. Hey, thanks for waiting, guys. Remind you that this episode of Film was brought to you by Elyse Mattress. So whether you're upgrading your home, your health, or your state of mind, there's one surprising item that belongs on your shopping list. What's that, Bones Dog?
A mattress. With over 10,000 5-star reviews, the Elyse mattress is in a league of its own when it comes to combining quality, innovation, and making a difference. Why?
But why, Dog John?
Well, it's 100% American made. It adapts to all body shapes, sizes, and sleeping styles, and it's a universal adaptive feel trademark. 3 premium. You don't have to say trademark. 3 premium foam layers. I'm a dog.
Ordering is very easy. You can avoid all the awkward showrooms by ordering online, having the mattress shipped to your door for free. Bones Dog, you actually sleep on one of these.
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
No, so they have a 100-night trial, lets you sleep in the bed for over 3 months and decide if it's a right fit. How's that going for you?
It's so good.
You're going to send it back?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you keeping it?
Yes, if you try and take it, I'll hurt you.
You sleeping like a dog?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Also, tell me a little bit about the charity, Bones Dog.
Let's see. For every 10 mattresses sold, one is donated to a non-profit organization that serves homeless and/or at-risk adults and children. And for every one mattress sold, Lisa plants a tree. How much does it cost, Dog John?
Luxury doesn't come cheap, but when it comes to a good night's sleep, luxury is something you deserve. Sorry, I forgot my voice. Lisa mattresses compare with brands that cost thousands more, but because they can cut out unnecessary extra costs, Lisa prices start at just $525. Plus,
plus if you go to www.lisa.com/filmhouse, that's FILMHAUS, and enter promo code FILMHOUSE, once again FILMHAUS, you should know how to spell that by now, you'll get an extra $100 off.
Holy cannoli.
Okay, so do yourself a favor and please sleep better with Lisa. Back to the show, and these guys will join me later in a little bit.
Never have another rough night of sleep.
And welcome back. Boy, oh boy, what a break. So it is now December-ish while you're listening to this, and I was thinking about every week giving you guys just one holiday movie that I suggest every one of you watch.
That you grew up watching and love?
No, that I found on a list of like really bad holiday films.
All right.
This one came to me, Santa with Muscles.
Look at Hulk Hogan's wearing a wig.
Why does he look so old?
He's got fake
No,
hair
he's
here
adult.
and fake hair.
Well, who here has seen the hit film Suburban Commando?
I have.
I may have at some point.
What? Really? Anyway, same plot.
What? Santa's in that?
It's a fish out of water thing. So Suburban Commando was Hulk Hogan playing like a space marine, and he crash lands on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to blend in. Yeah, of course you remember.
Now I remember.
Similar story here. It's about a man who's he actually plays a bad guy pretty much. He's like the rich evil guy who lives on top of a mountain, and he while running away from the police, one Clint Howard, he hits his head and believes that he is Santa because he's wearing a Santa suit because that's how he was hiding from the cops. And so Hulk Hogan.
Clint Howard hits his head and thinks he's Santa?
Clint
Hulk
Howard is a
Hogan.
cop chasing our protagonist, or at the time antagonist.
It's got Donna's dad from that 70s show.
He's not in it.
That's him right there.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
that is.
That was totally
Donna's
him.
dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Donna's dad. Sorry, I was thinking of the other guy.
John Leguizamo.
Funny that
Yeah,
you
it's John
mentioned
Leguizamo.
that 70s show,
Actually, that could be John
because
Leguizamo.
there is a
Okay.
very
Downey Jr.
young Mila Kunis in this film.
Oh.
Somewhere.
Does she
Hulk
still have her
Hogan, Hulk
accent?
Hogan.
I don't know, whatever. The movie's free on YouTube. Someone just uploaded it and they don't
Oh,
care.
wait.
There's
What's
Clint
that
Howard.
guy from?
Clint
Is
Howard?
that the bad guy from The Crow?
No, I thought it was too.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a shame.
I watched this movie last night. I felt like it had a little bit of everything. Hulk Hogan, mystery, cops.
That's everything.
That's a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
There's a lot of questionable things in this film, and I highly suggest you watch it just kind of for the pure joy. This is one of those movies I feel like that got made because no one was watching. They just said, yeah, just do it. Just keep doing it.
Well, it's clearly filmed in the valley, right?
Calabasas.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's dirt cheap, and they cashed in the
Oh,
fact
look
that
out,
they,
animated rocket.
Hulk Hogan was a big name. What year is this?
96.
6? Okay,
Yes.
so maybe not a big name,
Yeah,
but
but
At the time, I think he was good for direct-to-home video.
yeah, absolutely.
And the movie is actually so good. A little bit of trivia there for you. The original screenwriter sued the studio to get his name off of it. Yeah. It's actually, I had a fun time. It is a so bad it's good kind of fun holiday film. Like I said, it's free on YouTube. That's how I found it. So please check out Santa with Muscles. Please just be happy to know it exists.
Please a lot.
Please.
No one's going to watch this.
Hulk needs it. He also kind of plays like a kind of a weird, effeminate bad guy. I can't tell if he's making fun of what he thinks bad guys sound like, or he's doing like what he thought was a homosexual impersonation of the time.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, it's weird. He's sort of like, "Come on, boys, let's go shoot our guns." Like, what? What is happening? It's worth watching.
They
It is.
electrocute him.
It's
Is
a
that
lo-
Chuck Zito?
I wish. It's a lot
It
of
is.
confused people
I don't know who that is.
running around on a weekend making a movie.
Hell's Angels, Chuck Zito?
I have a surprise for the Filmhouse audience.
Yeah, what's
too.
that?
I learned yesterday that Adam has never seen Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Starring Michael Caine.
I've seen Santa with Muscles, though. Look at that Mila Kunis on the right.
That kid. He's been in everything.
Yes, literally
And
everything.
so
Literally
Adam
everything.
has agreed to watch it before Christmas and not do a full film house on it, but to kind of mention it, tell us what he thinks. And he's agreed to come to my apartment and hang out with me.
Who do you think is excited
And
about
watch
this
it.
right now?
Everyone's excited.
Whew, and we're back talking about Air Buddies?
Air Buddies.
Air Buddies, what's
Wow.
up? My name's B-Dog.
Man,
And I'm Rosebud.
I'm all about that bling bling.
there's a little bit of criticism that I wasn't excited enough about the Air Bud check-in, but I thought I'd leave that to you guys. Was it Air Bud Watch? What do we call this waste of a time?
It's Funhaus Presents BudHaus Best Buds BudWatch. This is chapter 1 of phase 2 of the BudWatch cinematic universe.
This takes place in an alternate timeline.
Yeah, it's a
Wait,
soft,
what?
It's a soft
Yeah.
reboot.
Yeah, I thought you watched it.
No, I watched Santa with Muscles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's good too.
I wanted people to.
There's me,
B-Dog.
B-Dog. He's all about that bling bling.
he's
That's
the
what it
racist
says in
puppy.
the...
Okay, wait. Okay, so I'm not really sold on this. So
All right,
they
let me-
rebooted Air Bud now. It's not the same continuity.
So, whoever the lead boy was and the girl,
Josh Fram.
yep, they grew up and they're in college now.
Okay.
And it's the younger son who is the
So Air Bud's dead.
No, he's in this, and he.
Airbud's in
yeah.
this and he talks.
Yeah. All right. So okay.
Hey guys, I'm back. I can talk.
So they, so Airbud and his neighbor had 5 puppies, and each puppy has its. I mean, they each have their own little thing that they do. They each have, like, I'm dressed as my favorite. Thank you for asking. Her name is Rosebud. She's the girl, and that's all she does. She's the
Okay.
girl. And
There's Butterball who eats a bunch
yeah,
and farts
yeah.
a lot. That's a recurring thing. Then there's Buddha or Butta.
He's a hippie.
Yeah, who does downward facing dog.
Yeah.
Then there's B-Dog, who's all about that bling bling, which
racist.
is said multiple times, and he has a lot of racist lines. And
See, look at
who's
it.
the
They each
fifth
have their own
one?
bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's a dirty one, Mudbud.
Oh yeah, Mudbud. He's all about getting dirty.
He's filthy.
Okay.
But the thing is that these dogs were born in the second movie, Golden Receiver, which took place when Josh Fram, was in middle school, and he's now off in college. So basically, these dogs have been puppies for like 8 years or something. And it's a different mother, so it's an alternate timeline.
That happens where they recast. Because
No, I mean
other...
the dog, the mother lives across the street from them rather than in a British mansion.
Oh.
You're
yeah.
saying this as though Adam remembers any of these.
No,
Of course he does.
I'm just playing the strawman.
strawman?
So that people who like may be
buried his
confused
shoe.
like myself. So what's the main plot of Air Buddies, friends?
Plot?
Yeah. They
So-
go to a movie.
No, that's not the plot. So, is he South African? Is he Irish?
No, he's I think from another dimension because his accent is
Yeah.
constantly changing.
Anyways, there's a villain that wants. There's a little fat rich kid that the guy buys him a tiger, and the kid basically says, "Fuck off! I don't want your tiger. I want Airbud because Airbud's this world famous dog that can play sports."
Okay.
So this guy hires his nephew and this other idiot to kidnap Airbud and his wife.
And the main villain wears an eye patch and a leopard print tuxedo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a cane.
But the difference, I gotta mention
Let's
the
not
difference.
get caught up on the details,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry. So
I just need
that's
the
it.
main,
That's all you need to know.
Oh, the broad strokes, if you will.
Yes, but the important thing in this one is that the dogs no longer are they just dogs that play sports. Now they speak, like their mouths move and they talk to each other. Humans only hear barking at this point, but they can all communicate. They're all perfectly intelligent. There's intelligence.
Who was the goat?
Oh yeah, Don Knotts plays the goat.
No, Don Knotts plays Mr. Sniffles.
Oh, Wallace Shawn from Princess Bride plays the goat. Anyways, this movie posits a world in which all animals are as smart as Airbud. Like, he's not that special because every single animal in the world can talk and like do tricks and set traps and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Michael Clark Duncan plays a wolf.
That's true. He plays a Native American wolf.
Okay.
And 2 of the cast members died.
That's Deputy Sniffles.
2 of the cast members died before this movie was released. After the end, it's in memory of 2 people.
Suicide?
Wow, what an upper.
Yeah.
That's good. What do we have in store for next week?
John?
I believe Snow Buddies is next.
Okay.
Snow Buddies, then Santa Buddies, then Space Buddies, or
So
something
imagine
like
all
that.
these dumb dogs, but like in the snow.
Yeah.
They're not dumb. Well, you just said they're dumb. So
Oh, I forgot one of the most important details was at one point they're at a movie theater and all the puppies run out while they're being chased, and there are all these bikers just watching this drive-in movie, and they go, "Hey, puppies!" and they start petting them. And then the bad guys come out and knock over a row of motorcycles.
The old motorcycle domino.
Yeah, it was. I had never seen that movie before. It was really cool.
God damn it! I went to another reality to escape this. It's not working.
And I just want to let the audience know there are a finite number of Air Bud movies.
Barely.
Sadly.
But I'm just letting you know, when it comes to an end, John and Bones have actually opened my eyes to a whole other world of talking dog films.
It's magical.
So we're going to keep it going forever and ever. Every week until we die. We're going to talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Amen.
Never thought of it like that.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend. Keep the show going. Thank you, Elyse Mattress, for sponsoring this episode. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. James, Bruce, and Elise.
Hi.
Who all made a weird choice this weekend and saw Justice League.
Yeah, I was kind of excited to see it.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought, you know
Yeah.
what? How bad could it be?
And I didn't know what to do. And Bruce said to me, he said, "At least don't try to see every movie. Just see one.
Justice League.
Yeah.
You won.
Just see one." And that's what I did.